Oh, yeah, absolutely. I really do think that over the years, Jerry, Kyle Lowry has been one of the most underappreciated players in the league. I mean, on draft night, he was traded from Memphis for Kevin Love, actually, I believe was the deal. He ended up going to Minnesota in exchange for Lowry. It's a little bit of a Cavs connection there. But, I've been really impressed by Lowry coming off of a contract year, and he still seems motivated to take his Raptors to the next level. Now, as far as the game is concerned tomorrow, I really would hope that the Cavaliers would be able to limit their guards, because we remember, like the last time that we spoke, when we played the Raptors, 79 points from those three guards. But the thing that's working in the Cavaliers' favor this time is that DeMar DeRozan will not be active for that game. That's going to make the Cavaliers' duties on the defensive end of the floor a little bit easier Friday night in Toronto.
Yeah, absolutely. They are coming off, of course, the second end of the back-to-back here. That plays into effect, too. And you'll have the psychological bit of the last time. And we know we saw Cavaliers went up big. And that was the famous fragile quote came out of the last game here between these two teams. It'll be a lot of fun. And then they wrap up come Monday, the final game of this road trip before they come back home. So actually 2 meetings here with these Raptors in the next, 6 days here as they'll come back home and they'll take on Toronto again next week. That's a team 15-4 to start the season. They've been very strong at home, but that's a team that a lot of people have put in that top tier conversation in the preseason, and they've lived up to it and then some early on. So potential, perhaps postseason battles to come from these guys. A bit of a preview here early on, and another really good, just a measuring stick. People I think overrate measuring sticks when they use that term, but just you can always rate progress. It's like checking off the height on the doorway. You can always go back and check it, and it's not a big deal, but it does over time show progress. I think this is one of those here, even if just looking back from the last time you played this team.
Yeah, and no question about it. And, when you look at what they've already done and the teams that they've already beat, you take a look at the list, you say, Washington Wizards, check. Milwaukee Bucks, maybe a playoff team, maybe a better playoff team than we thought, check. Atlanta Hawks were a 3 seed for the most part of last season until the Al Horford injury. Pretty good team right there, blew them out at home, check. I think the Toronto Raptors are next on that list in terms of who the Cavaliers can beat, who the Cavaliers should beat, and really all those teams will be looking up at the Cavs at the end of the season. But, Dwayne Casey has his club playing that really disciplined style of basketball. They don't do anything fancy on the defensive end. They drop into a zone most of the time, and they do a quality job defending against some of the better scorers in the league. But, again, the motivational factor will be there for the Cavs. And also to continue this win streak, to push it to 6, and really catch up with the Wizards, those Raptors, and those Bulls that have made some noise and gotten out to an impressive start here early on in the year.
After a tough start to the season, as we've talked about, in the past 30 days, Cavaliers have gone 9-4. They've sandwiched a 4 and a 5-game winning streak. In between there, a 4-game losing streak. So we've definitely seen that, exactly as people say, the progress, the evolution, and I guarantee you there's still some stumbles to come, because I know there's some people that already put the pedal to the metal and think, all right, cool, now Cavs won't lose a game the rest of the season. Whoa, Nelly. But it is good to see. And I think the way we started this, perfect way to end it. What I'm most impressed with, I'm not impressed with necessarily just wins and losses, is that they're learning how to win when they're not at their best. I'm telling you, anybody can win. And the worst team in the world can win against anybody when they play at their best. But you are the best team in the world when you can beat anybody playing at your worst. You know what I mean? And that is what I'm starting to see. When you learn how, you can call it winning ugly all you want. I just call it winning. You just learn how to win. Little by little, we're starting to see that. But there's still a long way to go, Eddie. But it's a lot of fun watching it, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Jerry, I think I am going to have an opportunity, even though it's post-Thanksgiving, I'm going to slide in this Thanksgiving pun here, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Every team in the league has its turkey and potatoes. Cavaliers right now, they're looking for their green beans. They're looking for their They're looking for their buns and rolls. They're looking for their cranberry sauce. They're looking for all the extra little things that it's going to make into one fantastic meal.
Absolutely. Man, this was a fantastic segment. Thanks for joining us. Eddy Jansen from morethanafan.cleveland.com. What are you working on this week over there at More Than a Fan Cleveland?
Oh, a little bit of everything. I'm going to have something up later tonight, probably on just the big three, learning to play together, getting some defense, and just what to expect going forward now that we're 16 games into the year and that David Blatt has been in the league for more than a month.
Sounds good. Eddy Jansen, you guys can check that out. More Than a Fan Cleveland. Check it at MTAFcleveland.com. Eddy, we'll check up with you next week and check in the latest week that was in Cavaliers hoops.
All right, Jerry. Have a great weekend, buddy.
You too, my man. Eddy at Eddy Jansen, EDDY Jansen 30 on Twitter. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the Sportswriter extraordinaire, Jonathan Knight, coming up after the news, man. You see, I see the clock. This is going to be a way. Told you, Humongotron, baby. Supersized edition of the Sports Fix. Time to start texting people and telling them, well, the schedule's out the window. Sit tight. We'll get to you. Don't go anywhere. When we come back after the news, Jonathan Knight, Sportswriter extraordinaire, joins us next. Should be a fun conversation as we talk about the week that was in Cleveland sports. Hour 2, we've still got Jeff Gorman from Browns101.com. We've got Ryan Ruiz and so much more coming your way. More Sports Fix still to come. Jonathan Knight up next.
The Sports Fix, your choice for intelligent talk.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Intelligent talk.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
These guys must be on the wrong station.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!
The Sports Fix.
I'm Tyler Zeller, and you're listening to The Sports Fix.
Have you gotten your copy of Cleveland's Finest yet? Highlighting the best moments, players, and media members in Cleveland sports history?
He won it! Milo hit a three-pointer on the side.
In-depth personal interviews with some of the top names in Cleveland sports fill the pages of this incredible book. Cleveland's Finest by Vince McKee is this year's must-have book for every Cleveland sports fan. Available now at Amazon.com. Get your copy today. Sports Fix listeners, do you tweet? So do we. So tweet with us 24/7 at the Sports Fix CLE.
Business owners and professionals, do you want to take your business, your product, your team, your event to the next level? You want to advertise right here with the Sports Fix. Our listeners are among the most loyal listeners, terrestrial or internet. The Sports Fix universe is not only the radio show, but tens of thousands of fans on Facebook and Twitter. Email me, Jerry Myers, thesportsfix at AOL.com. That's thesportsfix at AOL.com. And let me help you swing for the fences and hit it out of the park right here on the Sports Fix.
Portions of the Sports Fix brought to you by Harry Buffalo. Harry Buffalo, join the herd.
News break.
I'm Christine Lisi. Right now, Bears receiver Brandon Marshall continuing to be evaluated after being knocked out of the loss to the Cowboys with a ribs injury. Took a hard knee to the right side of his back from Dallas safety Barry Church. No word yet if Marshall's ribs are fractured or bruised. Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo says he's been playing with a broken rib for nearly 2 months. Isn't sure if he was hurt in September against the Rams or October versus the Saints. Romo wears extra protection for his ribs and has a longer than normal back plate to protect his surgically repaired back. Lions running back Reggie Bush said he is playing Sunday against the Buccaneers. He's missed the last 3 games with ankle and back problems. A game with national title implications on the way tonight when number 2 Oregon takes on number 7 Arizona in the Pac-12 championship game, 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN Radio. Ducks are pretty much guaranteed a spot in the 14 college playoff with a victory. Might be tough for the committee to keep the Wildcats out if they upset Oregon for a second time this season. NBA Heat forward Luol Deng dealing with a bruised right hand, listed as questionable tonight against the Bucks.
For more than 60 years, Wrangler's been making jeans more comfortable. They feel good and wear strong. That's because Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans are built with a unique U-shaped construction. They don't cut into you like jeans with a V pattern. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans. You're listening to the Sports Fix.
I remember when I lost my mind.
I mean, this week, I think that kind of fits. Welcome back to the Sports Fix as Niles Barkley gets crazy in the background. It got a little crazy, you think? A little crazy this week here in Brownstown. Meanwhile, believe it or not, there's a playoff caliber game coming up here this weekend. I know you would have thought with all the other stuff that we would be doing I don't know, maybe we should. I think guys are mad. They're irritated that they can't do mock drafts this week or something. That's got to be it. Welcome back to the Sports Fix. J-Rock with you. You know where I'm going. My next guest, the Sportswriter extraordinaire, Jonathan Knight, cannot wait to get his thoughts on the latest week that was here. Some of the silliness, in my opinion, that went on around the media and the Browns and the quarterbacks and all of that. But there's a lot going on. We talked about it earlier. Indians, trade wins, perhaps something going down here. We're going to talk about all of that and more with the Sportswriter extraordinaire, Jonathan Knight. Phone lines aren't open as we come back to the Sports Fix here. Welcome back in. J-Rock with you. You can't call, but you can keep the conversation rolling on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/The Sports Fix. Tweet with us at the Sports Fix CLE, and of course you can email us thesportsfix@AOL.com. Let's get to the phones right now. As soon as I go ahead and push that button, my guest, my man, the Sportswriter extraordinaire, Jonathan Knight. JK, how you doing this afternoon, my friend?
Jerry, I'm doing well. You're right. It has been a crazy week. I mean, I think we're used to crazy weeks, but this one in particular seemed a little crazier. Topped, of course, by the recurring theme of anytime Cleveland is in the national news, it's not a good day for Cleveland. So, Cleveland police under the microscope. Let's talk Manziel and Hoyer.
And I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to open this up by telling you that JK and I have talked privately, and I'm going to leave that between us. But I did let him know what I'm going to tell you now, which is after we got away from the emotion of last week's show, I sat down and I thought, and I came to the conclusion that having you here today does indeed give us the best chance to have a good show. So, with that pressure dropped on your lap.
But it was a tough decision. It was a tough decision, you have to say. I mean, it was close, and I respect that. Yeah.
It was very close. And the kid, even though he's never actually been on the radio before, I've got a kid chomping at your heels. And he's really ready to cut his teeth. And I kind of got to see what he can do because I don't know. You may just not show up next week. I kind of got to see what the kid can do. But at the end of the day, some of the other guys on the show, Gorman and Ruiz, they were like, you know what? JK helped get you there. You got to go with the ones that brought you to the dance. So we're going to do the thing
that's what
today.
I was going to say. I got you here, Jerry.
Yes.
I mean, let's face it. It's been a good year, and I got you here. So
you did.
I think,
get us here.
There's some respect.
And you know what? It's not just your fault when we have bad shows. It's my fault. I could build a better show around you. We can all do better around you to help us have a good show. And I think that's what we're going to do this week is we're all going to go out and work harder to have a good show.
Well, and we have a lot of the callers are hurt this week, are not going to be able to call in. So I think
true.
That's you're picking guys up off the street to call in and provide analysis. Guys who haven't watched the Browns in 20 years, guys who have never called into a radio show before. You're just we're filling out the roster. We're just trying to get through this. Is what we're doing.
We've got listeners that weren't even listening to the show 4 weeks ago listening here today. I mean, that's where we've gotten to at this point. And don't even get me going on the half of the audience that just is waiting for you to trip up or stumble on your words so that I can make the change.
I can tell. I stuttered a little bit there at the beginning, and I can tell there are people like, you know what? It's time to go with this other guy.
I'm telling you, my Twitter is blowing up as we speak. Yeah. They want my job. They want me fired because of this right here. What are you going to do about it, JK? Are you going to deliver for me or what?
Well, you know what? I'm just going to take them one play at a time, Jerry. I'm going to take it one sentence at a time as I'm on the phone here with you, and we're just going to see what happens. We're not going to look ahead to next week. We're going to take it one play at a time, one opponent at a time, and just respect everything that happens on the field.
And you know what's
or
crazy?
On the phone in this case.
Absolutely. And the craziness about all of this is going on while we're sitting here. It's award season, my friend. We're up for some big awards here. We've got the chance to really make our hard work pay off. And here we're talking about this stuff instead of sports and instead of football and all of these things. Kind of crazy. I don't know. We've lost our mind a little bit here. And with all of that set up, that was kind of a